Hey, hey, welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Speak English with James and Mary, where we learn real English for real life.
And let me ask you something. Have you ever said, I'm too busy to practice English, but somehow found time to scroll, watch random videos, or check your phone 10 times?
Ouch.
I know.
Because today, we're talking about a problem that looks like a time problem, but might actually be something completely different.
And here's the bigger question. Can just 15 minutes a day really change the way you speak English?
By the end of this episode, you'll know the answer. And while we figure it out, you'll learn natural American expressions, useful phrases, and vocabulary you can start using today.
So don't just listen quietly. When we ask you to repeat something, say it out loud.
Even if somebody nearby thinks you're talking to yourself.
No biggie.
Smiles. And if you don't know what no biggie means yet, stick around.
All right, let's get into it.
So, meet Jake. He's 24, he lives in Chicago, and is finishing college. His reading English? Pretty solid. His listening? Not bad at all. But speaking, that's where things get messy.
What kind of messy?
Jake can understand a question perfectly, but when it's his turn to answer, his brain suddenly slows down. He starts searching for grammar, searching for vocabulary, trying to build the perfect sentence, and sometimes nothing comes out.
That's such a B1, B2 problem. You know more English than you can actually use quickly.
That's the idea. Then, one afternoon, Jake gets an email. A company he really wants to work for invites him to an internship interview. Good news.
I'm guessing there's bad news.
I'm smiling. The interview includes a live English conversation, and it's only 6 weeks away.
6 weeks? That's enough time to improve, but not enough time to mess around.
There's a useful American expression, mess around.
What does it mean here?
To mess around can mean to waste time instead of doing something seriously. For example, we have an exam tomorrow. Stop messing around and start studying. It's informal. Everyone, say, stop messing around. Pause.
Stop messing around.
Jake decides to get serious, very serious. He creates what he calls the ultimate English plan.
That already sounds dangerous.
2 hours every evening, 1 hour of grammar, 30 minutes of vocabulary, 30 minutes of speaking.
So his plan is basically become fluent by Tuesday.
Pretty much. Day 1, great. Day 2, still great. Day 3, a little tired. Day 4, Jake gets home exhausted. He looks at his 2-hour schedule and says, forget it. I'll start again Monday.
Monday, the official home of fresh starts.
His roommate Chris hears him. Chris asks, if you don't have 2 hours, how much time do you have? Jake says, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes? Chris says, then do 15. Jake laughs. What's 15 minutes gonna do? Chris says, more than 0.
That sounds simple, but that's the first major lesson.
Jake is using all-or-nothing thinking. That means believing something must be done completely or it isn't worth doing at all. For English learners, it sounds like, if I can't study for an hour, I won't study. If I can't speak perfectly, I won't speak. If I don't understand every word, I understood nothing.
And that makes English much harder than it needs to be.
Right. So Chris gives Jake a new plan. 15 minutes. 5 minutes listening, 5 minutes speaking, 5 minutes reviewing useful English.
Curious, what does Jake do during the speaking part?
1 question a day. That's it. What happened today? What's something I'm proud of? What problem did I solve this week? What would I change about my college? Jake answers out loud. And here's the rule. He is not allowed to restart every time he makes a mistake.
So if he says something wrong?
He repairs it. For example, yesterday I go down... Sorry, let me say that again. Yesterday I went downtown. Then he keeps going.
Much more realistic. Real conversations don't come with a reset button.
Right. After about a week, Jake notices something strange. He isn't fluent. His grammar is imperfect, but speaking feels a little less uncomfortable. Then Chris decides to test him. He suddenly asks, "Tell me about a time when you failed at something." Jake freezes.
Even after practicing every day?
He understands every word. He knows what he wants to say, but his mind goes blank.
That one's worth learning.
If your mind goes blank, you suddenly can't remember what to say or think. For example, the interviewer asked me about my weaknesses and my mind went blank. Repeat, my mind went blank. Pause.
My mind went blank.
Chris looks at Jake and says, "Good." Jake says, "Good?" I couldn't answer. Chris says, "That tells us what you actually need to practice."
Which is?
Smiles, responding under pressure. So Chris teaches him a few phrases that give him time to think. One is, "That's a good question. Let me think for a second." Another is, "The first thing that comes to mind is..."
Let's teach comes to mind.
Friendly. If something comes to mind, you suddenly think of it. For example, when I think of New York, Times Square comes to mind. Everyone, repeat. The first thing that comes to mind is... Pause.
The first thing that comes to mind is...
Example. What's your favorite city? The first thing that comes to mind is Boston.
Use it. What was your hardest class? The first thing that comes to mind is chemistry.
Encouraging. Perfect. Now comes Jake's first real-world test. A few days later, he's standing in line at a coffee shop. A woman behind him asks, "Hey, do you know if they have oat milk?" Jake knows the answer, but his first instinct? Pretend he didn't hear.
Seriously, for oat milk?
His brain starts going, what if she doesn't understand me? What if she asks another question? What if my pronunciation sounds weird? Then Jake suddenly realizes this woman is not giving him an English exam. She just wants oat milk.
He turned a coffee order into a language test.
Pretty much. So Jake says, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do." She says, "Awesome, thanks." Conversation over.
Nothing terrible happened.
Nothing. Jake walks away thinking that was no big deal. Or, in casual American English, no biggie.
There it is, the phrase from the introduction.
No biggie means it's not a serious problem. For example, "Sorry I'm 5 minutes late." No biggie. It's informal. You wouldn't normally use it in a very formal business situation. Everyone repeat, no biggie.
No biggie.
I made one small pronunciation mistake. No biggie.
That phrase could probably save English learners a lot of stress.
Absolutely. Then Jake starts working on another skill, paraphrasing.
Meaning saying the same idea in different words?
That's it. Forget the word umbrella, say the thing you use when it rains. Forget refund, say when the store gives you your money back. Forget colleague, say someone I work with.
So forgetting one word doesn't have to end the conversation.
Right. And paraphrase itself is useful vocabulary. To paraphrase means to express the same meaning using different words. Say it. Paraphrase.
Paraphrase.
I forgot the words, so I paraphrased.
Paraphrasing helps me keep the conversation going.
2 weeks pass. Jake's 15-minute routine starts feeling normal. Some days he practices 20 minutes, some days only 5, but he keeps showing up. Then one evening, he checks his phone's screen time report.
Uh-oh.
2 hours and 40 minutes of entertainment on Tuesday, almost 3 hours on Wednesday. And Jake realizes something uncomfortable. He keeps saying, "I don't have time for English," but somehow he has plenty of time to scroll.
So the problem isn't always lack of time. Sometimes it's where the time is going.
Right. There's a difference between having time and making time. If you make time for something, you deliberately create room for it because it matters. Example, I'm busy, but I make time for English every morning.
Very different from, I'll practice if nothing else comes up.
Exactly.
James.
Okay, that's the difference. Better?
Much better.
Jake notices another habit too. He opens social media for 5 minutes, then 40 minutes disappear. He keeps getting sucked into it.
That's very natural American English.
To get sucked into something means to become so involved in it that you spend more time than you planned. Example, I opened Instagram for a minute and got sucked into it for an hour. Repeat, I got sucked into it.
I got sucked into it.
And this doesn't mean you should never relax. Of course you should. The better question is, are you choosing how to spend your free time, or is something else choosing for you?
That's a much more useful way to look at it.
1 week before the real interview, Chris arranges a mock interview.
A mock interview is a practice interview that feels similar to the real one.
And this time, the interviewer is someone Jake has never met. First question, why should we hire you? Jake pauses, uses a thinking phrase, then answers. The interviewer interrupts. Jake adjusts. He forgets a word. He paraphrases. He makes a grammar mistake, but he keeps moving.
So progress isn't having zero problems. It's being able to handle the problems when they show up.
That's the key. Then the interviewer notices something. Jake keeps saying, "Sorry, my English isn't perfect. Sorry, that sentence was bad. Sorry, I made a mistake." Finally, the interviewer says, "Jake, stop apologizing for your English. You're communicating. Keep communicating."
That's a big mindset shift.
That's the key. Jake stops trying to prove that his English is flawless and starts asking a simpler question. Did they understand me? Then comes interview day. 3 interviewers, real company, real opportunity. Jake's heart is racing.
Let's learn that expression.
If your heart is racing, your heart is beating very fast because you're nervous, scared, or excited. Example, my heart was racing before I gave the presentation. Repeat, my heart was racing.
My heart was racing.
The first few questions go well. Then one interviewer asks, "Tell me something about yourself that isn't on your resume." Jake hasn't prepared that.
What comes to mind?
Nice. Jake pauses and says, "I've been working on becoming more comfortable speaking when I'm nervous." The interviewer asks, "Why?" Jake says, "Because I realized that having a good idea doesn't help much if I'm too afraid to share it." Then he tells them about his 15-minute routine, the coffee shop, the mock interview, the fear. And he says, "I used to think confidence had to come first. Now I think practice comes first, and confidence catches up."
Let's learn catch up.
To catch up means to reach someone or something that was ahead. For example, I missed 2 classes, so I need to catch up. Here, practice moves first, and confidence catches up later. Repeat, confidence will catch up.
Confidence will catch up.
The interview ends. Jake has no idea if he got the internship, but outside the building, he realizes something. 6 weeks earlier, his goal was speak perfect English. Now his goal is get my point across.
That's one people should remember.
To get your point across means to make another person understand your idea. Example, my grammar wasn't perfect, but I got my point across. Repeat, I got my point across.
I got my point across.
3 days later, Jake gets an email. He got the internship.
Nice!
But the most important moment happens during his first week. His manager says, "Our client is early. Can you keep her company for 10 minutes?"
No prepared questions. No script. Just conversation.
Just conversation. The client walks in, speaks quickly, and has an accent Jake isn't used to hearing. He misses part of the first sentence. Old Jake would panic. New Jake simply asks her to repeat it. She does. Conversation continues. Work, travel, food, and eventually Chicago weather.
Of course.
10 minutes later, the client smiles and says, "Thanks, Jake. That was nice." Then she walks into the meeting. Jake stands there for a moment thinking, "Wait, I just did that."
And that's how progress can surprise you. One day, something that used to feel impossible becomes manageable.
Good word. Manageable. If something is manageable, it may still be difficult, but you can deal with it successfully. Example. The conversation was challenging, but manageable. Say it. Manageable.
Manageable.
My workload is busy, but manageable.
Speaking English still makes me nervous, but it's becoming manageable.
That's a much more realistic goal than waiting for English to become effortless. Jake also learns to give himself credit.
Great expression.
To give yourself credit means to recognize your own progress or achievement. Example, you just spoke English for 10 minutes. Give yourself some credit. Repeat, give yourself some credit.
Give yourself some credit.
Now, let's turn Jake's story into something you can use tomorrow. Here's the 15-minute system. 5 minutes, listen. Choose something you actually enjoy. Sports, movies, business, technology, stories. Anything that keeps you interested. Listen for the main idea. Don't stop for every unknown word.
Otherwise, your 5-minute listening session becomes 40 minutes with a dictionary.
True. Then, 5 minutes, speak. Summarize what you heard. Tell a short story. Answer one question. Give your opinion. Your goal is not perfect grammar. Your goal is to keep communicating. Finally, 5 minutes, use. Choose 2 expressions you heard and create your own examples.
And what if someone has a crazy day?
Friendly, use the 3-minute version. 1 minute listening, 1 minute speaking, 1 minute reviewing.
So the plan has a backup.
Right. And if you miss a few days, don't turn it into a disaster. Just get back on track.
Let's teach it.
To get back on track means to return to your plan after stopping or getting distracted. Example, I didn't practice last week, but I'm getting back on track. Repeat, I'm getting back on track.
I'm getting back on track.
And while you're doing that, don't beat yourself up.
That doesn't literally mean hitting yourself. To beat yourself up means to criticize yourself too much because of a mistake. Example, I forgot some vocabulary, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. Repeat, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up.
And when a conversation doesn't go according to plan, sometimes you just need to roll with it.
Very natural American English.
To roll with it means to accept an unexpected situation and adapt without getting too upset. Example, the meeting changed at the last minute, so we rolled with it. Repeat, just roll with it.
Just roll with it.
Someone changes the topic? Roll with it. You misunderstand something. Ask again. You forget a word. Paraphrase. You make a mistake. Fix it if necessary. Then keep moving.
That sounds much more like real English.
It is. Now, everyone listening, I want you to answer 3 questions out loud. First, why are you learning English? For work, travel, college, friends, confidence. Second, where can you make 15 minutes tomorrow? During your commute, lunch break, after coffee, before bed. And third, what English situation are you avoiding because it makes you nervous? A meeting, a phone call, an interview, talking to a coworker.
And don't begin with the hardest possible version. If a 20-minute conversation feels scary, start with 2 minutes. If speaking in a meeting feels difficult, say 1 sentence. If interviews make you nervous, practice 1 question tonight.
Because small actions add up.
Let's end with that expression.
If small things add up, they combine over time and become something much bigger. Example, 10 minutes of English every day adds up over a year. Repeat, small things add up.
Small things add up.
So if you're waiting for perfect grammar, more vocabulary, more confidence, or the perfect schedule, maybe you don't need to wait. Use the English you already have. Find 15 minutes. Speak before you feel completely ready. Let yourself make mistakes and keep going.
Because learning English isn't only about knowing more. It's about being able to do more with what you already know.
Smile. Before we go, let's quickly review today's useful English. I'm slammed means I'm extremely busy. Cut to the chase means get directly to the important point. Mess around means waste time instead of doing something seriously. My mind went blank means I suddenly couldn't remember what to say. Comes to mind means suddenly appears in your thoughts. No biggie means it's not a serious problem. Paraphrase means explain the same idea using different words. Get sucked into something means spend more time on it than you planned. Heart racing means your heart beating very fast because of nervousness or excitement. Catch up means to reach someone or something that was ahead. Get your point across means make someone understand your idea. Manageable means difficult, perhaps, but possible to handle. Give yourself credit means recognize your progress. Get back on track means return to your plan. Don't beat yourself up means don't criticize yourself too much. Roll with it means adapt when something unexpected happens. Small things add up means repeated small actions become something bigger.
That's a lot of real English in one conversation.
And no 30,000-word Jake biography required.
Thank goodness.
Here's your challenge. Choose one expression from today. Make your own sentence with it. Say the sentence out loud, then decide when your 15-minute English time will happen tomorrow.
And remember, if you make a mistake, no biggie. If you miss a few days, get back on track. If the conversation takes an unexpected turn, roll with it. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep turning the English you know into English you can actually use.
We'll see you in the next episode. Take care, and bye for now. Bye-bye, everyone.